Hey everybody, it's Roberto with another DSLR photography and video tutorial. So in today's tutorial, I'm going to actually talk about the best memory cards for DSLR video and photography. Now, by the best, I mean ultimately the best performing, and I'm also going to get a little into the best for the price. So first of all, big disclaimer. None of the companies that I'm mentioning in this video are sponsoring the video and paying for advertisement. Nope. Nobody's doing that. Unfortunately, I do not have the kind of pull to get Lexar or SanDisk or Transcend to plug these videos. But anyway, the opinions in this video are my own and they're what I use. So let's talk about the big boys first. We all know that the pros talk about Lexar and SanDisk, and that's what a lot of them legitimately use, but a lot of them do have sponsorships with them, so I'm not surprised that they're going to plug those. Now, personally, I don't really use those as much. I have a few of them, but the main cards that I use are actually Transcend. And I know everyone says, well, don't go with cheaper cards, blah, 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 but I've tried out every brand of memory cards. I've tried out PNY, I've tried out SanDisk, I've tried out Lexar. I still own cards for all those. But the main ones that I use for the work that you see me do on this channel, for the work I do on this channel, I almost exclusively use Transcend memory cards. I still have those other cards, and if my stuff is full up, I'll use them as my last resort, or if I'm shooting with friends gear and they have those brands, then that's what I'm shooting on. But I use Transcend because I buy these off of Amazon. They're super affordable compared to the other ones, and they haven't let me down over the last 7 years. That's huge. So let's talk about the best overall memory cards. If you're just doing DSLR photography and you're shooting RAW or RAW plus JPEG, then you can get away with 16 gig cards, and I've used those to shoot cosplay conventions. So I'm shooting literally thousands of photos, and I might do about maybe 1,000 photos per card at the 16 gig range and get those, and that's what it'll be. And I'll shoot maybe 2 cards per day if I'm at an anime convention, right? So if you're doing something big like that and you're only doing photo, then you can get away with a 16 gig card. However, as you guys probably know from watching the channel, if you've been tuning in, I shoot video as well at these conventions, and I put together cosplay music videos. So what I ended up doing was I went to the 32 gig cards because 16 gigs was not cutting it for doing both photography and video, especially since I shoot RAW for the photography. So what I ended up doing was I went to the 32 gigs and I only use class 10 cards. So that's another important thing. In addition to the brand and the size, you need to be looking at the classes, and I have it kind of blocked out here because I label my cards, something else you should be doing, but I use all class 10 cards, and I keep them in a card wallet like this, which you should definitely do to keep organized and to keep your stuff safe and secure. But the reason I use class 10 cards is because they're going to be faster, they're going to be more secure, and the buffer when you're shooting burst of images for still shots, and when you're shooting video especially, the cards can fill up the buffer really quickly. So you want something that has the fastest transfer speed possible. So class 10 cards are going to do that. If you can get the higher end, because after that they have X300, X400, etc. The better cards that you can get, the faster they can have for transfer speeds. That's going to be overall better for you in terms of being able to shoot multiple burst photos back to back, not necessarily having the card or the camera overheat, the buffer fill up, so your time in between shots is going to be a lot better. So that's why I would recommend. Also, when you're dumping your cards to your laptop or to your desktop or to your external drive or whatever, you're gonna want that transfer speed so you can clear the card, back it up, and go back to shooting as soon as possible. So I also recommend having a memory card reader to transfer your stuff. If you want, and you can get a backup drive that you can immediately dump to so that you have a copy on your computer, a copy on the external drive, then that's for the best. I'll have links to all of my recommendations for gear that you can get from Amazon and BH down in the description below. But yeah, so that's why I'm recommending. If you're shooting DSLR video, you don't want to go up to the 64 gig and the 128 gig cards because it's going to be so much slower, especially when you're dumping that footage, because it has to read the whole card even if you haven't used it up. So that's part of it. That's why I'm saying 32 is a good space, and as a minimum, 16. You can get 16 gig cards for around $10, $12. You can get 32 gig cards for between like $12 and $19, just depending on what brand you're buying. Again, if you want to save money, you can get Transcend. I'm going to recommend them personally. I haven't had any problems with them over the last 7 years, but you can also go into the high end with Lexar. You can also get SanDisk. So those links will all be in the description below. Those are the 3 brands that I'm going to really bring up in here. I've used PNY too, and that's fine as well overall, and it's very affordable. So those are 4. Those are 4 brands for you, and now you know the size you need is either 16 or 32 if you're going to be doing serious DSLR shooting at the higher megapixel range, and if you're going to be doing video. You know that you're going to want to have a carry case, and you're going to label your memory cards so you know what's what, and so that you can kind of like use them in an order or a sequence so that you know what has footage on it. I also actually name them and match up the names in the computer as well. So that's something you might want to think about doing. Another thing, you may want to go ahead and have some kind of backup device so you can immediately dump from your card, copy that, and copy to your hard drive. So in the field, you have 2 backups. Having 2 backups in the field is really good because things can go wrong and you just never know. So that's very important. I never format my cards until I know I have 2 to 3 copies and I've confirmed them. So that's something I'm also going to recommend that you do. Final thoughts. Have as many memory cards as you possibly can. I've moved into ordering 1 or 2 new memory cards a month. I'm stocking up. I'm going to be doing a lot of traveling and a lot more shooting more often now. So that's really important to just have available cards ready to go at your disposal. If you're just starting out, maybe you get 4 cards. If you do a lot of shooting like me, 10 or more is good. If you can have 20, that's probably for the best. Maybe you just set a goal for yourself to fill up your card wallet by the end of the year. So if this can take like 24 cards, then do whatever it takes to try and fill that up by the end of the year, or whatever your budget allows for. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this DSLR tutorial video. If you have more questions about memory cards or just in DSLR video and photography stuff in general, let me know in the comment section below. Like this video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe, share it with friends. As always, you guys, thanks so much for watching, and don't forget, create something awesome today.